Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, is football still exciting without Messi and Ronaldo? Sure, the game goes on. Goals are still scored, trophies are still lifted, new stars are rising. But deep down, something feels off, doesn't it? Let's be honest. There's this weird emptiness, a sense that no matter how many goals Haaland scores or how fast Mbappé runs, it's just not the same. So today, let's talk about it. What exactly did Messi and Ronaldo mean to football? Why does the game feel different without them? And has football truly become boring? Let's dive in. For over 15 years, football wasn't just a sport, it was a story. And that story had two main characters, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. One was quiet, magical, almost shy. He let his feet do the talking. The other was loud, explosive, a born showman. He owned every second on the pitch. Messi brought poetry, Ronaldo brought drama, and every single match, every single season, we watched them trying to outdo each other. This wasn't just a rivalry, it was a global obsession. Week after week, we asked the same question. Who's better? Who scored more? Who carried their team harder? And whether you were Team Messi or Team Ronaldo, you cared. But now, Messi's in the US, Ronaldo's in Saudi Arabia, and their battles, they're over. No more El Clásicos, no more Champions League showdowns, no more Ballon d'Or speeches one after the other, and suddenly, it's like football lost its main characters. Of course, the game is still beautiful, but for many of us, the emotional connection just isn't there anymore. You don't rush to turn on the TV, you don't stay up until 3 a.m. for a group stage match. You don't argue with your friends in the group chat about who's the GOAT anymore, because that conversation, it had a golden era, and it's gone. Here's the truth. We weren't just watching football, we were following a saga. Every game was a new chapter. Every goal, every assist, every trophy, part of a long, ongoing story. Messi scores a hat trick, Ronaldo responds the next day with a bicycle kick. They weren't just competing for titles, they were competing for legacy. And we were hooked. Now we have Mbappé, we have Haaland. Great players, no doubt, but they don't have each other to push against. They're in different leagues, playing different styles, under different lights. There's no real rivalry, and without that rivalry, the spark just isn't the same. With Messi and Ronaldo, every week felt like a moment in history. Now, it's just another match day. But hey, it's not all the players' fault. Football itself has changed. It's more commercial, more strategic, more corporate broadcast deals, sponsorships, social media trends. Everything feels calculated. Transfers happen for branding, not passion. Clubs care about market value, not loyalty. And that emotional core, the one that made you fall in, love with the game as a kid, it's fading. Messi and Ronaldo weren't just great because of their stats. They were great because of their stories. Messi, the quiet genius who grew up with a growth disorder, carved his legacy at one club and danced past defenders like it was art. Ronaldo, the kid from Madeira, obsessed with greatness, challenging every limit with insane work ethic and sheer confidence. They weren't just players, they were myths. Now, football is filled with talented machines, athletically gifted, technically brilliant. But where's the narrative? Where's the emotion? Think about it. When Messi touched the ball, you held your breath. When Ronaldo stood over a free kick, you believed anything could happen. Even if you weren't a fan, you watched. You had to. Now, can you name one current player who gives you that same feeling? You might admire them. You might respect their numbers. But do they give you goosebumps? That's the difference. So, has football become boring? Not exactly. It's still evolving. There's still magic out there. But the emotional connection we had during the Messi-Ronaldo era, that was once in a lifetime. Maybe it's unfair to compare. Maybe it's too early to judge the new generation. Or maybe, just maybe, we're all just a little heartbroken. Because the greatest football love story of our time has ended, and we're still learning how to watch the game without them. So, what about the new kings? We're in a new era now. A world without weekly Messi versus Ronaldo drama. And in their place, we've got a fresh set of names lighting up the pitch. Kylian Mbappé, Erling Haaland, Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Pedri, Saka. The talent is there, no doubt. But here's the big question. Can any of them truly take the torch? Let's start with Mbappé. Lightning quick, deadly in front of goal. A World Cup winner before he was even old enough to legally rent a car in the US. At his best, he looks like a cheat code. Blazing past defenders, finishing with confidence, owning the moment. But still, something's missing. Maybe it's the fact that he plays in a league that doesn't get much global attention. Maybe it's PSG, a club that's never quite found its soul. Or maybe it's just that Mbappe's story hasn't connected with fans yet. We respect him. We admire the stats. But do we feel invested? That's the difference. Then there's Erling Haaland, a monster in front of goal. He breaks records like it's nothing. His presence in the box? Terrifying. In terms of numbers, he's doing things even Messi and Ronaldo didn't do at his age. But let me ask you this. When Haaland scores, do you feel something? Or do you just nod and go, "Yep, he did it again"? That's not his fault. He's a machine. Cold, clinical, efficient. But greatness isn't just about how many goals you score. It's about how you do it, and why it matters. Haaland is brilliant, but so far, his story feels hollow. Now let's talk Bellingham. This one's interesting. He's young, he's mature, he's already leading games like a veteran. And his move to Real Madrid? Massive. He's got the swagger, the emotion, the connection with fans. Every goal he scores feels like it means something. And maybe, just maybe, he's the closest we've seen to a future emotional icon. But again, it's early. The Messi-Ronaldo legacy wasn't built in a season. It took decades of battles, heartbreaks, and triumphs. Can Bellingham hold that weight? Too soon to say. Here's the pattern. The talent is out there. Phenomenal athletes. Hardworking, humble, exciting. But what we're missing isn't skill, it's mythology. See, Messi and Ronaldo didn't just perform, they created moments. That solo goal against Getafe, that hat trick against Spain, that bicycle kick against Juventus, that last-minute Clásico winner. These weren't just highlights. They were burned into football history. Right now, we're not getting that. Or if we are, it's scattered. One week in Manchester, another in Paris, maybe something in Madrid. There's no central storyline, no ongoing drama to follow, and without a narrative to hook onto. Even the most brilliant football feels disconnected. Let's be honest. Part of what made the Messi-Ronaldo era special was timing. They peaked at the same time, played in the same league, competed in the same competitions. It was a cinematic setup. Every season felt like the next episode of a legendary series. Today's football? It feels like a bunch of spin-offs, high quality, but missing the main plot. Mbappé doesn't play Haaland every few months. Bellingham doesn't have a long-term rival yet. And most clubs are focused more on brand than rivalry. The soul of competition is fading, and then there's the fan experience. During Messi-Ronaldo's prime, people chose sides like it was religion. You were Team Messi or Team Ronaldo, and you defended that choice with your life. Now, fans scroll through TikToks of goals, comment, swipe, forget. The connection isn't as deep. We're not attached in the same way. It's fast food football, tasty but forgettable. Let me ask you this, when was the last time you waited all week? For a single football match? When did you last plan your weekend around a game? When did a goal make you jump off the couch, scream, or cry? If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone. We're in a transition phase. The kings are gone. The crown is up for grabs, but no one's really claimed it yet. So, is it their fault? Not really. The world's changed. The game's changed. Social media, schedules, branding, politics. Everything moves faster now. And maybe we've changed too. We grew up with Messi and Ronaldo. We grew old with them. And now we're watching a new generation start from scratch and expecting them to match legends. Unfair? Yeah, probably. But that's what happens when you follow greatness. So, what's next? Can someone truly rise and become the face of football? Or will this new era be more democratic? A handful of great players, but no clear kings. And if that's the case, can football still feel as magical? Or are we destined to always look back and say, no Messi, no Ronaldo, no fun? So here we are, a few years into the post-Messi, post-Ronaldo era, still watching football, still talking about it, still hoping for that next spark. But maybe the real question isn't, can anyone replace Messi and Ronaldo? Maybe it's, should they be replaced at all? See, what Messi and Ronaldo gave us was rare, once in a generation rare. Two players who redefined the game, at the same time. It wasn't normal. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. And now that it's over, we're all kind of searching, looking for the next rivalry, the next obsession, the next reason to fall in love all over again. But maybe what we really need is patience. Greatness doesn't arrive fully formed. It builds over time, with moments, with stories, with scars. Right now, we're watching the beginning of new stories. Haaland's dominance, Mbappe's hunger, Bellingham's rise. Young stars pushing boundaries, clubs evolving, managers reinventing the game. It might not feel like a golden era yet, but one day we might look back and realize we were watching legends being born. And maybe the real reason we feel that football's a little colder now is because we've changed too. We got older, we became more aware. We saw the business side of football, the transfers, the money, the politics, the magic we felt as kids. It's harder to recapture now. But here's the thing, football has always evolved. People once said it was over when Maradona left. Before that, they said it would never be the same after Pelé. And yet, the game kept going. New icons rose, new stories were told. That's the beauty of football. It never stands still. And maybe that's the real point here. Messi and Ronaldo gave us a chapter, an unforgettable one. But not the whole book. There are more chapters to come, and we, as fans, play a part in how those stories are written. Because football isn't just what happens on the pitch, it's what we feel watching it. It's the debates, the memories, the moments that stay with us. So if the game feels a little less exciting right now, maybe we're not waiting for football to give us something. Maybe football is waiting on us, to open up again, to stop comparing, to stop expecting a new Messi or a new Ronaldo, and instead, to start appreciating the journey we're on. Because somewhere out there, a kid is falling in love with Bellingham. Someone just watched Haaland score his 40th goal and smiled like they did in 2012. Someone thinks Vinicius Jr. is the most electrifying player on earth, and that's beautiful. Yes, things are different now. More global, more digital, less romantic maybe. But football is still ours. It still belongs to the kid with a ball and a dream, to the fan who paints their face before a derby, to the uncle who supported the same team for 40 years, win or lose to you. Watching this video, thinking back to a time when the game felt bigger than life. Guess what? It still is, you just have to look for it in new places. So let's not be afraid of this new era. Let's give these players time. Let's let them write their stories. Let's stop asking who's next, and start asking, what makes this moment special? Because years from now, we might be telling our kids, I watched Haaland in his prime. I saw Mbappé lift another World Cup. I watched a teenager named Jude take over the Bernabeu. And maybe they'll ask us, but was it as good as Messi versus Ronaldo? And maybe we'll smile and say, different, but still magical. So here's to the past. Messi, Ronaldo, and the golden age we'll never forget. Here's to the present, chaotic, uncertain, but full of promise. And here's to the future. Whatever it looks like, whoever the stars may be, one thing is certain. Football will always find a way to make us feel something. Because when all is said and done, it's not just about the names on the back of the shirt. It's about what the game does to our hearts. And that never gets old.